Free your mind now. Be part of People's Pan-African Parliament, the Pan-African Pyramid Debate with your speaker, Andrew Irumba Katusa.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard to yet another episode of the People's Pan-African Parliament, the Pan-African Pyramid that sits here at Fairway Hotel every Friday from 5 to 8 p.m. and a telecast of the same is broadcast on NBS television every Saturday from 4 to 5 p.m. On our topical discussion tonight, we'll be discussing how prepared is Africa for the effects of artificial intelligence. Comrades, artificial intelligence has emerged as a transformative technology, revolutionizing various aspects of society and the global economy. Africa as a continent is experiencing rapid technological advancements and has the potential to harness the benefits that artificial intelligence offers. However, the extent of Africa's readiness to adopt, utilize, and mitigate the effects of artificial intelligence remains a subject of debate. This research aims to explore Africa's level of preparedness in dealing with the impacts and challenges, but also to examine the various dimensions, challenges, and opportunities associated with this emerging technology. Just to give you a brief background, Africa is the home to numerous socio-economic challenges: poverty, unemployment, inadequate infrastructure, which can significantly impact the adoption and the integration of artificial intelligence. However, this continent also presents unique opportunities for artificial intelligence development, such as its growing youth population and increasingly access to digital technologies. Understanding Africa's preparedness for artificial intelligence is as well crucial for policymakers, governments, and stakeholders to leverage the technology's potential and address potential risks. This topical discussion has a significance and implication on Africa in totality. The significance of this debate today is to avail research and potentially to inform policymakers, governments, and stakeholders about Africa's readiness for artificial intelligence. The findings and insights generated from this research can guide the development of policies, strategies, and investments that can foster artificial intelligence development and ensure its benefits are shared equitably across the continent. Comrades, this evening, like usual, we normally have a panel of well-crafted ladies and gentlemen to avail the best they can.
Free your mind now. Be part of People's Pan-African Parliament.
I want to ask, as you know, I like to do that. I like to start with some questions, right? So when do you think is the last time you watched a video that was fakely made? Who have watched videos that were fake today? We don't know, right? And that's one of the things that I want us to speak about and to think about. This is what we call like deep fakes. Deep fakes are one of the results of the previous set of technology that we are living in right now. It will be impossible to know what is true and what is not really true with the future of technology, especially with AI. Everything that you watch on the screen now, you cannot be 100% sure what is real, what is not real. Why? Simply because no one has developed yet the technology that will allow to verify and fact check, right? So it's only your eyes that will be able to make the difference between a fake video of me saying that I am claiming power, I don't know, somewhere, and me just talking here like in real life. Why is that important? Why is that significant? I think it's particularly significant because we need to imagine how this can be used, okay? How that can be used in the future, because so far this technology is mainly used, let's say, in Middle East, in Europe, but yet what we know is that it's also going to be African actors, people from here will be able to use it really, really soon, and some already have the capacity. So I wanted to think of a future where it will be impossible to know where the truth is and where the truth is not, so we can all think of it. So that's the type of thing that is likely to happen. is likely to happen. And how do we live in a world where we have both informations, none of them are real informations, but the capacity that we have to go on the field to check the information doesn't exist anymore. Now we are living in this world where we have like a diversity of informations, and a big part of those information that are online, especially for free, are manufactured for someone's political agenda. We need to be really clear about that. When we read news on Facebook, on videos on TikTok, all those social media, this can be 100% fake videos. So we need to always like double check and double cross. But we're gonna go in a future where most of the crises of this continent will be backed up by those type of technology, and the one that control the technology will now be able to disorganize a lot of societies. Those technologies are not here to reorganize. They're not here to develop. They are not here to make people a better life. Right now, as it is, they're mainly used to engage in disinformations. So I wanted to ask you, in this context, what is a good Pan-African? What does a real Pan-African do? My answer to this is that a good Pan-African have to look at the future. A good Pan-African need to be able to scope the future and see that within what's coming, what is dangerous and what is not, for the continent, for the people, right? So we can have a say about it, and we can decide whatever we want to adapt, whatever we want to accept, what type of legislations we want to put together, okay? For white people like me, being in Uganda before 1820 was impossible. Impossible. Have you ever asked yourself, why is it that Europe colonized Africa only in 19th century and not before? Have you ever asked yourself, why Europeans were in Latin America 200, 300 years before they are in Africa? Who have the answer? Who knows why? Why would Europeans go to colonize Latin America, which is far away, one ocean away? At the time they're developing boats and things like this. It takes a long time to arrive there. But yet Africa is down the road with a lot of minerals. We already knew that there were gold, that there were salt, that there were a lot of minerals in those countries. But we have decided to go on the other side of the world first. Why? Why would Spain not colonize Morocco, Algeria, Senegal before it colonized Brazil, Argentina, Chile, and all Central America? Why? Does that make sense to you? Why would Europe not size Africa first if they had the capacity, and then after go in other places of the world? They went first really far away and didn't touch Africa until 19th century. Do you know why? And that's what a good Pan-African should have tell you. In 1820, I wish there were a Pan-African that could come here and say, listen guys, white people just invented the quinine. It seems like ridiculous. It's just a small technology. It's a medical technology. But it's a medical technology that allows white people like me to survive in Central Africa. Without this, 80 to 90% of white people coming to Central Africa and all tropical Africa, so including Sierra Leone, including Liberia, including Ivory Coast, all of those countries, more than 90% of them was dying in less than 3 years. In 3 years, you send 100 soldiers. Britain did that. They sent 100 soldiers to Freetown, right, in Liberia. 3 years after, only 12 were alive. So in that situation, European imperialism were blocked. Any tropical places in Africa were untouchable for us, right? Yet, at some point, they developed a new technology that they found out of a tree in 1820, and that allowed all of them to deploy their technology to the African continent in order to colonize. Okay, so European imperialism was there before, but it was technologically impossible for them to reach the continent. So we need to think of those things. That's what I'm thinking, like a good Pan-African is someone that look at the future and say, listen, what's happening here? There's something that is going to be a problem for us in the future. It's not a problem for us today, but it will be a problem for us tomorrow. When we think of the technology that have allowed imperialism, we think of the quinine, we think of the steamer. The steamer was the first boat that was made and that allows Europeans to go inside the rivers, inside African rivers. Before that, they are unable to penetrate the continent. They stay on the coastline. At the time of slavery, most of European powers stay in the coastline. They cannot go inside. Even if they want to, they cannot go inside. But technology allows them to deploy that. Now, in which stage of technology development are we in? In which stage? I'm not an expert in technology. I'm an expert in politics. I do political analysis. What I see, I speak about it. And what I see right now is that when it comes to democratic regime, deep fake news will completely change the game. It is almost impossible that the next election of Uganda won't be impacted by generative image technology. It is almost impossible. Just to give you a sense, in my own class in South Africa 1 year ago, I already have had students that were able to do video of me saying that there is no homework for Monday. So there were video of me saying that the homework I gave them on the class have been cancelled. So they share that video and everyone think, hey, Mr. Thomas just don't give us homework today. So we've been in that situations where that technology are already there. They're already with us. They're already progressing. AI goes way faster than we think.
Maybe to intervene a little. We are looking at an Africa in the times of the colonial period, pre-colonial, colonial period, and tracing to the post-colonial period.
Correct.
Africa that is trying to embrace its own technology in its own way. Of course, amidst the number of challenges that we have. From your own analysis, do you think there has been any progress from no technology at all to starting to adopt some technology to the extent that we begin to adopt artificial intelligence?
So when it comes to the technology we have, as soon as the technology are deployed, we know how to use them really quick. The problem is when technology are not deployed. Like for instance, when it comes to technology to extract petrol. Here in Uganda, we don't have the capacity to extract the petrol. Why? Because that technology, which is a technology invented 50 to 60 years ago, is not yet available for people here. Because only big corporation controls it. So we need to look at how technology they circulate and who has control of them. And what I want to suggest here is that we are going towards a form of artificial intelligence that will be superior to us. Have we all understood that? Our brain right now cannot handle as much information as ChatGPT. And what do you think, like ChatGPT, if I learn English and I'm 15 years old, do you think what's best? Do you think ChatGPT is best or I am the best at 15 years old? I'm learning English. Who has the best English? ChatGPT. Yeah, he was showing me, he was like, thanks brother, but no, I think unfortunately ChatGPT is faster. Think about how much information a doctor needs to have. A doctor, right? He goes, how long does he study in Uganda? 5 years? In some countries, it's like 7 years. You go to some specialty, like, I don't know, the eyes or the surgery, it's 9 years or 10 years, right? Even the doctors that go to the best university in the world, that sit 10 years there. Do you think he knows everything about medicine? No, he can't. He doesn't know every aspect of the medicine. He doesn't know every aspect of the human body. He doesn't know the current research. Yet ChatGPT does. ChatGPT does know everything that is written online. So if you ask ChatGPT about what is happening to my arm or to my blood and you give him enough information, the same information you give a doctor, who has the best chance of giving you a good diagnosis? ChatGPT, yes. That's the problem. If you're sick and you want to speak to ChatGPT, ChatGPT can speak to you 24 hours. 48 hours, 72 hours, and slowly but surely you will realize that you prefer to speak with ChatGPT than with your doctor. Because ChatGPT tells you the exact same information, but it is available for you. When in the current systems, our doctors are not so available for us, right? And so right now we choose our doctors on who's best, who has been handling the family or things like this. But in the future, we would look at our doctors, we look at algorithm. The same way that the kids today look at what's best. Is it the status on Instagram or is it TikTok? Is it Snapchat that does the best filters or is it TikTok? I don't know. But that's what people ask themselves today, right? Yesterday, that was never a question.
Well, Mr. Mtatena, in your conclusive remarks, I want you to draw for me a picture so clear relating the aspect of Africa's population and the aspect of artificial intelligence, and try to draw a close line that interjects the two and advise whether Africa is ready to take on artificial intelligence, its impacts, and what exactly it is that Africa must do.
No one is ready. 0% are ready. Europe is not ready. America is not ready. China is not ready. No one is ready for what's coming. Let me tell you straight. We're going to move towards artificial intelligence that are more intelligent than us and more capable than us. We are moving towards the future. It can be a utopia, it can be a dystopia. I'm not sure where it will come. But what I know is that by 2030, most probably, in 6 to 7 years, we will have an artificial intelligence that will be more capable than us. There will be artificial intelligence that will be able to speak like me right here and say more relevant things. There will be artificial intelligence that will be able to draw like Leonardo da Vinci used to draw back in the days. There will be artificial intelligence that will be able to make music like the same way our best artists today are making music. All of this is happening. Whether we like it or not, it's happening. Now the question is, how do we take advantage of that situation? I need to make my conclusive remarks. How do we take advantage of that situation? We need to think of ourselves the same way that we're at pre-colonial time. At pre-colonial time, what could we have done to prevent the imperialism to arrive? What could we have done to make sure that the new imperial technology that Europe was developing would not reach the African continent? What could we have done to use those technology also? I think we need to get back to the history. We need to look at what type of learning we can get from history, and that will guide us towards thinking of the future and thinking of a best way to integrate AI in our life, but yet don't become the obsolescence, right? Don't become too weak that the computers are now doing things that we don't even know how to do. Thank you so much.
Free your mind now. Be part of People's Pan-African Parliament.
Mr. Speaker, artificial intelligence. You know, something that is artificial, it means it's not natural. You know, sometimes when we are debating these things, you need to put some senses, understand the topic, use enough sense to interpret the question very well. Now, when they say the artificial intelligence is becoming either good or becoming a challenge to Africa, but it's there. How is Africa ready to go with such an artificial thing? Am I right? Mr. Speaker, very strange indeed. You imagine an African who has not been actually not moving with the world without artificial intelligence. Now you have introduced artificial intelligence to replace the natural intelligence. Mr. Speaker, artificial intelligence is completely going to bring us problems. First of all, it's going to make Africans very lazy. Very lazy. You remember some time back here, even the region, they used to say that we are the Ugandans, we are the laziest people in East Africa. Kenya is number one. Now, you imagine where scholars cannot do research. You just Google and get every information. I'm a researcher. But at times, whenever I'm finding something, they say, don't waste time. Either follow what my friend was telling you or go to Google. That's what they do these days. Now, what you are being provided by artificial intelligence, Mr. Speaker, we are not sure whether it is correct. I think he mentioned it, the first presenter. When you use those artificial institutions to tell you what you want, you are not sure because there is no way how you can check. And that's how bad it is, artificial intelligence. You are not
Maybe,
sure.
From that angle, do we at a certain point feel that on top of the human capital and its adversity, artificial intelligence could be a good supplement? I am looking at a perspective of robotics, machine learning, and extensive research where people in human capacity cannot do so much or cannot go beyond certain limits. Do we then feel that even when that necessity arises,
Let us first compare with what is being lectured at the university. You are provided, actually, all the universities now in Africa have what we call the lecture rooms. People are no longer, by the way, teaching, they lecture. There is a difference between lecturing and teaching. Because lecturing, it's like a gospel. You are preaching. Teaching is when you interact with the student. Now, look what the products we produce. Look what the students will produce. People acquire informal and formal knowledge, but they are not practical. You go and get information from the net, but you don't know these things. You just get these things, but you don't know. Translating them into real life becomes hard. That's how artificial intelligence is going to be as dangerous as something you can consider. Now, Africans, because now we are discussing this in an African perspective. Africans, we had a way how we used to be creative. We had a way how we used to be innovative. By the way, this is even a very big challenge to those who are in technology. The other time I was discussing with the person who is in these vehicles, these companies that are manufacturing cars. The transformation of that technology, that they are yet to make a certain car where you don't need even to drive. You just sit and put there the codes, the passwords, and the car will just go. And they will tell you, I'm going to Naivasha. It will take you from Kampala to Naivasha. Now, what they don't know, that in some other countries, their locations, they are already incorporated in their apparatus and systems. How will you tell now a car in Uganda here to take you to Kanongu when even the road is impassable? You see now, certain technologies, they are not even matching with my friend mentioned it. So we need to go slow on the artificial intelligence. Why am I against artificial intelligence? The perfection. The perfection. We don't know what they are providing is correct for us. 2 is making our intelligence, our natural intelligence, more weaker. We don't reason so much. There are some people, Mr. Speaker, who are reasoning for you somewhere. So they are like somehow retarding our reasoning capacities. And therefore, they are going to weaken more scholars the researchers, the scholars, and what in that capacity. Two, in Uganda here, every year we produce more than 10,000 graduates from universities. With this advanced technology, you are expecting no jobs. We are going really, I don't know what you are going to do, no jobs. Because you'll be sitting in your own office and that technology will run the entire thing. Now, Mr. Speaker, there is an element of crime. The first presenter mentioned it. The moment you provide fake videos on the net, the moment you provide fake information, which means the recipient also consumes fake information, that's crime. So artificial intelligence is promoting crime.
Mr. Kasha, would we then at that point look at the optimistic bit of it, the prevention of crime, how robotics are being used for security, the coding, protection of data using firewalls and all those. There are countries, reliable, that do not have security personnel or people carrying guns across streets. What are they using? Artificial intelligence. You don't have a lot of machinery everywhere, but with the aid of artificial intelligence, things are moving.
I happened to visit a country called Switzerland. Switzerland is the only country that is stable in the world. Are you aware of that? This is a country which has no army, has no police. And I can tell you this, how do they run their security? They trust more animals. They are the ones that even making life better in security than cameras. They have many cameras. But they trust, I know most of you have dogs at home. Dogs are more intelligent than those cameras. Because to not help you to respond through a camera when a dog is somewhere near there that can capture the thief very fast. So I looked at the way how they use those animals, like dogs, like what, those security areas. Now, Mr. Speaker, finally, what I wanted to tell you is that the NBS has been running a program from FEDA. There are many international conmen and conwomen, which is as a result of artificial intelligence. Someone, as my friend said, can change and becomes an American, change the voice, and tells you that he has a job somewhere, and they have been conning millions and millions of dollars through those financial institutions. So, as my friend said, the artificial intelligence is becoming now an international problem. And Africa is not ready for it. Neither even Europe is ready for it. So this is a modern wave that is creating problems among the world, among the citizens. Lastly, the artificial intelligence and its technological advancement is indirectly going to affect us by health-wise. We have heard of recently when we had plastic rice. People are consuming plastic rice. People are consuming plastic eggs. So are you going to embrace such technology? You can imagine from a supermarket, you go to buy eggs and you buy plastic eggs. So Mr. Chairman, I think Africa, there is a way how we can run our affairs without copying this madness of copying everything that we upload from the internet. I think this is total madness. If you look at the internet and social media, it's 85% covered by things that are obscene, that are not pro-Africa. Look at the pictures and the messages that are run on TikTok. What are you learning from TikTok? Nothing. What are you learning from these people who are naked? People who are killing each other? People. So nothing much. By the way, Mr. Speaker, the West is doing a disservice to us.
As you conclude, Mr.
Actually, as I'm concluding, the West has brought another weapon of hoodwinking the young ones. Spend more time watching things that are not useful to us as they also progress into other things. I think this is another way of diverting the young people. You guys, be careful. This is another weapon. 24 hours you are on TikTok, others somewhere in China, they are making phones for you to survive. I think this is the thing we should fight. It's not good for us. Good evening.
Free your mind now. Be part of People's Pan-African Parliament.
In the beginning, you have all gone to school and you have studied about factors of production. Because there is only one product that every person wakes up on a daily basis and they are hunting. And that one product is called money. Because it is the source of life. So with it, you can have beautiful friends like Jasmine around. With it, you can be able to pay all your bills and all the other things. So the factors of production you have all studied are called land, which many Africans were privileged. It is the only wealth that we still have. Many of you have land titles and your family. Labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. Labor is about our workforce. Because one intelligent man says that, well, thinking, having an idea is very hard. But after you have that one idea, that magnificent idea, it becomes 1%. And the 99% is called sweat. And others have also tried to reduce it and saying, well, working hard, trying to hit stones, that no sort of thing. We have to work smart. The comparisons of people who work for less hours earn much, and people who work across the day and earn less. And so the ones who work for few hours have told people that they work smart. So the questions that the businessmen want, because business, my dear friends, business is not guesswork. Successful business thrives on research. You want to roll out any product, you have to think of employing and investing in research. And so, this research, machines have been thought, and machines simply mean electronic machines, the computer. It's been thought that machines can help into the process of now finding. Let me give you a small example. Everyone is talking about tourism in Uganda. But you can use the computer right now as we speak. You can use the computer to find out how many people came from Canada to Uganda. How many people came from the US, which months they came, which towns they went to, which hotels they slept in, the cost of those hotels, and then you tell it. Then from there, you can link up with these clients who gave them the service, and you work with them and you provide them the service you want. So, on another hand, this is the positive side of what artificial intelligence is trying to provide in this new market. You need to be extremely curious about this. But whereas I do not want Africans to be so pessimistic about artificial intelligence. Well, the West has everything to worry. You know why? Well, I see the West is very curious about controlling artificial intelligence because equally they have very serious secrets against one themselves because they have great rivalry. And they're thinking, why not create limitations and then talk about, try now form associations and create some red lines. Please, let's not, if this information is captured, let's not be put up in the public. So because they have such separate information, the whole discussion now, they're trying to shape the global discussion depending on the state. I was with a friend yesterday and we were having a deeper discussion. Let's look at Africa continent of free trade area. The only way to sail into it is if we adopt the advantages, we co-opt the advantages of artificial intelligence. Whatever we want to do, all these protocols, whether we want to do research, whether we want to understand things, and even in education, it is not bad. Because look, education has changed in a sense. But what is education really? Because the colonial understanding of education is that a teacher must stand, must tell you of their view, which they got from a PTC or from a certain teacher in a university. And it's been carried on. Same definition, same definition, same definition. Yesterday I saw a joke and I laughed. I told a friend, well, I also made another joke that in international school, this is the right answer. Somebody put on their status on WhatsApp on a question that the child attempted to answer. That what is the use of the heart? That was the question. And the child wrote the answer that the use of the heart is to love someone. And then there was an X, but of course laughter. So you all know that the biological answer of the use of the heart is different thing. It is your engine. But I told them, also the answer of the use of the heart is to love someone is not the wrong answer. So artificial intelligence is coming in with different answers to different questions, depending on what you're looking for, on the solution.
Prince Kasagama, do you feel Africa is prepared to take on the impacts of artificial intelligence? And if not, what is that one particular thing you feel we must do to prepare for artificial intelligence?
Well, Africa is a little bit lagging behind in the fourth industrial revolution because we are not involved in the manufacture of machines, but we are involved in the use of machines. We have programmers who understand how to use machines, and that's excellent. No one is going to prepare anyone on how to use artificial intelligence. People, you have to understand what artificial intelligence is, and you employ it. Download ChatGPT. I have it on my phone. I already have it somewhere on the computer. I have used it to research on some things, and I got excited because it gave me the exact answers I was looking for, and in a short time. So you have to use it, but you have to use it in an area where you want to. Are you suffering from a disease? Instead of rushing to a doctor, ask ChatGPT to give you an idea. Are you looking for something? Before you take a step involving paying money, use it, and there is data. So no one is preparing Africa. Africans must prepare themselves on the applications of positive applications of artificial intelligence in trying to bring business and also managing their livelihoods.
Free your mind now. Be part of People's Pan-African Parliament.
And now I'll start. Can you imagine that more than 1 in 4 young people in Africa are not in employment, in education, nor in training? 1 in 4. That's a very huge number. If you are to compare with the EU, it varies. And in countries like Netherlands, it's 4.29. And in Romania, it is 19. So the 1 in 4 in Africa is 72 million young people. One of the previous speakers spoke about keeping things simply, do we understand the topic? If you just split intelligence, it's just basically how we get facts and analyze facts. That's intelligence. And artificial intelligence is a science which is concerned with building computers and machines which can think like human beings. They can act in such a way that a human being acquires intelligence. So with that brief background, how is Africa prepared? So you find that actually readiness for artificial intelligence in Africa is quite challenging. There are limited AI supportive facilities. Remember, we need these computers to gather information and also to work amongst themselves. There is poor infrastructure in Africa. The computers which run the artificial intelligence, they need electricity. In Africa, we have problems of load shedding. In Uganda, we do. Even South Africa, of recent, they're having load shedding. So how is the artificial intelligence going to function properly if the infrastructure is poor? Internet connectivity. Uganda has one of the most expensive rates for a megabyte or gigabyte of data around the whole world. Okay? There are also challenges around computing power. A phone is a computer as well. So some of us have just basic phones, so really they can't support this AI infrastructure. So there was a report by PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers. This was an analysis in 2017 that artificial intelligence is estimated to contribute almost 15.7 trillion US dollars globally by 2030. So I think that's a huge number. Remember, 1 in 4 young people in Africa, they are not in employment, education, or training. And there is this big force with artificial intelligence. So if you look at the previous revolutions, one of the speakers was speaking about the 4th industrial revolution. I think Africa, we've lost out on the 3rd. The 4th industrial revolution is here. Artificial intelligence presents enormous opportunities. So we shouldn't fight against artificial intelligence. We need to embrace it, and we need to make sure us as young people and us as Pan-Africans drive this great force. Okay? So if you look at the topic, readiness, so artificial intelligence preparedness or readiness involves around the country's capacity to use or to effectively drive economic growth, okay, for social and also economic or overall welfare of its citizens. So if you look at this readiness, there was a report by Oxford. It was called the Oxford Insight of 2021. It's about global AI readiness. So different governments have made preparations to prepare their people or their communities for artificial intelligence. Very soon, I think we've had things like digital number plates coming in. So literally, the person who's going to control this system could have a real-time view of wherever those cars will be passing, using maps and things. That will be all collecting information. So we've had things like roadside cameras. We do have them here in Uganda. So this is all part of Internet of Things. So according to the Global Insight, Oxford Insight 2021, countries which are leading this AI readiness include the USA. So they have set up a score. So USA scores 85.72, Singapore 84.12, the UK 74.54. If you come here, local in Africa, the average artificial intelligence readiness is a score of around 29.38. And if you come close to Kenya, their readiness for artificial intelligence is around 40.36. And the South Sudanese government, their AI readiness is around 19.45, according to this Oxford Insight 2021 score. So AI presents opportunities. I'll give an example. In Ghana, they had to deploy Google AI last year to predict locusts. So what is the equivalent of locusts here in Uganda? Grasshoppers. Yes, and suddenly. And now it's November, we can't see them. So imagine Ghana last year used Google AI to predict them, okay? For them, they are locusts, they eat plants. And because they predicted it with Google AI, they had to mitigate against the locusts, and then they manage them, they probably sprayed them as soon as they are sprouting out. And in that case, Ghana increased their crop yield last year from 40% to 70% by using the power of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence can also help us in the uptake of science, technology, and maths in Africa. Artificial intelligence presents so many opportunities, but like I've said, we need to use it for productivity as young people and also to drive business within the African Continental Free Trade Area. We have the former president of Burkina Faso, Thomas Sankara. He said, let's make Africa, the African market, the market of Africans. We need to produce in Africa. We need to transform in Africa. We consume in Africa. Let's produce what we need and let's consume what we produce instead of importing. And with artificial intelligence, there are things also like 3D printing. We can print a microphone. We can print houses with 3D printing supported by artificial intelligence. So it does offer really opportunities. We need to embrace it as Pan-Africans. Thank you.
Free your mind now. Be part of People's Pan-African Parliament.
Everything is come with the pros and cons, of course. And for me, I believe that artificial intelligence is need for the future, for sure. It depends on us how we are using it. One of our speakers mentioned about the camera versus animal. Right? Animals are, we can trust more than camera. But what if our guest is fearing the animal? Right? So we need camera that time. Another point was there that if the chat GPT is there, then the job seekers will be sit at home. For me, my answer is no. Because ChatGPT is made by man. Human beings are the one who made that ChatGPT. Not the computer made them, not. So, today is ChatGPT, tomorrow will be another application. And that we will make it. So our demand will be there for sure, one or another way. Now, for me, I'm a social worker. I'm not doing any job. But for me, in my regular life, for sure I need ChatGPT for my easy work. Another example which I will give, a very easy example. Sometimes we don't like a strict parent. You like? No? But they are there to guide us. One or another way they are guiding us. If they are not strict on us, might we will go another way. So artificial intelligence is there already on the door. Whether we accept or not, it is there on the door. It's just that we depend on us how we are getting into it, how we are using it. It's daily basis, like games. Since how many years we are using the game for our entertainment purpose? The TikTok or the another video application we are using for our entertainment purpose. But every time it's coming new. So, the artificial intelligence we can use for our daily use and for our development for the future. That's it. Thank you.
Free your mind now. Be part of People's Pan-African Parliament.
Mr. Chair, artificial intelligence is a philosophy of human intelligence which is programmed to perform perform specific tasks. Now, it is actually a collection of information and coupled with communication technologies that mimic human intelligence. Now, in the contemporary world where we are heading, artificial intelligence is here to stay. Unless if you want to swim in an ocean of ignorance, that's where you may not support artificial intelligence. Because where we are going progressively. We are not going regressively. Mr. Chair, it is simply AI, as it is commonly called, but not mistake it to artificial insemination. Because there's also AI is artificial intelligence in this matter. It's a simulation of human intelligence. Mr. Chair, we know very well that AI was first coined in 1956 by a gentleman called John McCarthy, and since then it has been metamorphosing from the first generation of industrial revolution, second generation of industrial revolution, the third one, and now we are simply now transiting to the fourth generation of industrial revolution. Now, all of this, when we look at the first industrial revolution generation, you know very well that we adopted this water and steam engines during that time, where we could do mechanization and advanced production process. Second industrial revolution also came up with the presence of power and electricity to advance mass production. You see how it was transiting. Now we came in the third one. The third one adopted now electronics coupled with the information technology to automate production. Now from the third generation, we are now transiting to the fourth generation, which is artificial intelligence. And the fourth generation simply is a fusion of digital technologies to further advance production. Now, looking at the countries that have been adopting this, we are already, actually, there are several countries that already have adopted already these technologies, this artificial intelligence. In Africa here, of course, we have some like Algeria, Nigeria, Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire, South Africa here, Kenya here, you see, Egypt, Ghana. So it is something that has come to stay for now and for the future. Mr. Chair, whereas there are certain challenges, of course, certain loopholes, certain bottlenecks affiliated to artificial intelligence, we cannot solely dismiss the important part it can play in fostering development. There are emerging opportunities like potentialities to improve employment, which Mr. Segawa put it very clearly, advancement in medicine and quality of lives, healthcare, food security. We have also technologies which are 24/7, working 24/7. That is the artificial intelligence. Because with the human, you know, a human being, his productivity index reduces as he continues to be on work. Because you cannot be, I think 3 to 4 hours. But beyond that, your reasoning now becomes null and void. So with artificial intelligence, that one is not there. It is 24 hours, very fresh. So it is better. Then also, issues of inventions. Mr. Kashaya has talked of vehicles, self-driving vehicles. But self-driving vehicles will be using cameras and sensors to navigate road traffic. But of course, as we navigate road traffic, it also comes with the development. If we are embracing artificial intelligence, especially in road network, then we must pay attention to develop our road network. Otherwise, we cannot. Then it also has unbiased, let me finish with this. There's the issues of unbiased decisions, which is not based on emotions. The preparation for Africa, as we talk now, it should have been yesterday. Because we are transiting, as I've said, from digital to artificial intelligence. Because we are now in the fourth generation of industrial revolution. Leave alone the third one. The third one is where we use the mobile phones, you go on TikTok, do video conferencing. That is, we are in that third generation. We are off. We are now transiting. So if Africa is part of the world, we must be at par with the contemporary world as we move. So there is no way things can happen, whereas others are going, our colleagues are going to be moved. For us, we are still using the Stone Age mentality to see how things move. You know, we have three categories of people. There are those who participate in the happening of things, like some of us. There are those who watch things happen, like Kashaya. And then there are those who don't know how things happen. So, for us who participate in the happening of things, leave us and let us go.
Free your mind now. Be part of People's Pan-African Parliament.
The way we are relying on it is more theoretical than practical. We shall see that in the education sector, we go and copy and paste information from Google and other websites when we are making research. So, the white man is teaching us what to think rather than how to think.
Free your mind now. Be part of People's Pan-African Parliament.
I think this continent should get off the point of playing the victim, because everyone here is playing the victim. Africa is not. So as some Africans are lamenting, oh, we are not ready, artificial intelligence is here to stay. So I'll relate artificial intelligence to religion. When religion came years back, it was taken as a colonial tool. And religion is one of the strongest aspects that has helped a country like Uganda maintain and stand strong on its values when it said no to LGBTQ. The world has a lot to offer out there. It's like employment and education. You choose what you think you can do best. So as a young lady out there, I love reading, I love writing. I use AI to make sure that I find the right content that helps me nurture my craft. I would say artificial intelligence is not a very good tool for me who loves writing based on emotions, but then I use it to edit my work. When I look at something that AI has given me and I feel this is a no, I am using my human intelligence to work it to perfection. So the thing is this, we can integrate human intelligence and artificial intelligence to create better services. Technology is something that young people out there need to be taught on how to use it. So before we start lamenting of how prepared or not we are, let's learn that the world is moving fast. So it's either we catch up or we remain crawling and lamenting that the world is moving so fast.
Free your mind now. Be part of People's Pan-African Parliament.
As one, I would like to say that the AI, I've never been a fan and I'll never be a fan of AI. There's this one thing, because most people know Israel. Israel is one of those most developed countries according to IT. They are way up there if you read. But right now you can see what's happening in Israel. The people that made these things, it's not helping them. What of when it comes to Uganda? there's conflict in Israel. If this AI, if there was a way of using AI and then the Israelites were, the Jews were able to beat off the people that are butchering them, maybe they would use it, but they are not doing it. Every day those Western countries are thinking of a way, China is thinking of a way to make the best weapon that's going to beat maybe America. You see, they're using AI, they're using artificial intelligence to make these weapons, right?
Free your mind now. Be part of People's Pan-African Parliament.
AI is a capitalistic and power-focused system. It is a capitalistic and power-focused system that is prioritizing the benefits of a few who are willing to control the world, and it is leaving out the benefits of humanity. It is leaving out the benefits of humanity. AI is already here to stay. So we are giving our back to Mother Nature. Mr. Speaker, when you observe clearly today, most of the investments in AI are directed to security, what we call defense, spying on each other and war. One of the aims of coming up with AI was to increase the lifespan of people, but today we see it's doing the opposite. AI is going to reduce the lifespan, and it's already reducing the lifespan. So you can see with such effects. For me, I'm not actually also a fan of AI. When you talk, what's the position of Africa in AI today? In other words, what I'm trying to mean is that as Africans, we should not stop at being consumers of the artificial intelligence. We should not stop at being consumers. We should also get involved in the production equation, such that we also can raise our GDP, things of such nature. Thanks so much.
Free your mind now. Be part of People's Pan-African Parliament.
Well, in conclusion, we believe that Africa's preparedness for the impacts of artificial intelligence is still a work in progress. While there could be quite a number of significant challenges to overcome, there are also quite a number of promising initiatives that are underway. We believe that with sufficient investment, collaboration, and focus on capacity building, Africa can improve its readiness and effectively navigate the opportunities and challenges by artificial intelligence. It has been a very wonderful and thrilling and interesting topical discussion tonight. Thank you very much for being a lovely audience and for always coming through to attend our weekly debates at Ferry Hotel. My name is Nkwanga Michael. I have been your chair tonight, standing in for the Speaker and the founding chair of the Pan-African Pyramid, Mr. Andrew Irumba Katushabe. Till next time, from me and the team, say.
Free your mind now. Be part of People's Pan-African Parliament, the Pan-African Pyramid Debate with your Speaker, Andrew Irumba Katushabe.